Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Roll call.
Yep. John.
Here.
Ben.
Here.
John.
Here.
Jim.
Here. All right. And absent tonight is Brian. Just gonna try and zoom it, maybe.
Yeah, we're having trouble with the Zoom.
Yeah.
I'm here.
There you
Brian.
are. Hello. So Brian's here.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
trying to
not
get
sure why the
added.
video's not showing.
I'll email you in a second and get you in the okay? All right, thanks. You can go ahead.
Need a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Jeff, aye.
Ben, I.
John,
Jim, I.
Brian, I.
Motion carries. I'll open it up now for citizen comment for anything that is on the agenda this evening. If anyone would like to approach. Outside of Brian, do we have anyone else on? I know you're trying to get back, but all right, we'll go ahead and close citizen comment at this time. Are there any questions on the consent agenda this evening? I think we addressed some of this in the work session, so with Mike, which
Just to clarify, you guys had some questions at the work session about the which was it? The
Ownership.
ownerships. So a lot of those are like owners, officers, presidents, CEOs, lessees, all those businesses. They put that on there if they did have like a criminal charge, that it's for awareness, and it's on their end as an alcohol tobacco division. That's for their awareness. It's also for your awareness too, if there is any. I don't see any issues with anything so far that screams that they should not be permitted. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
questions on the consent agenda? The motion to approve the consent agenda then?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Jeff, I. Ben, I.
John,
Jim, I.
Brian, I.
Motion carries. Brings us to and recreation. Stacy?
Yeah, do you guys have any questions on any of the things here? A couple side notes, but
Did you get any bids on the?
no. Nah.
Hey, I was getting new back.
I had one person come out yesterday. He didn't know if he'd be able to get me a quote. And then several plain phone tags going on. So no, I did not get any official bids. But I'm close to get at least one. So we'll see. The things I was going to mention, we did receive another $1,000 grant from Coconut Valley for Kelly Oaks Pavilion. They also usually have CoBank, that's like a partner of theirs, match their grants. So another 1,000 is what she's pretty sure we're going to get. 2,000 to put towards the pavilion. I've got the email saying that we were awarded it. We haven't received said funds. So 2,000s, 2,000s. And then this is just random, but Keep Iowa Beautiful, who we work with for parks. Obviously, she holds a seat on the park board. Sent me an email right before I came today that we were spotlighted in their newsletter this week, or this month, I should say. It's just a picture of Kelly Oaks explaining the T-Mobile grant we received.
Oh, thanks.
Little blurb on Kelly Oaks Park and the addition to the city and how it's going to be a benefit. So kind of cool. Spotlight.
Awesome. Where are we at money wise, financially wise on Kelly Oaks?
In terms of the pavilion.
Well, I mean, I know we kind of just lumped some all together. I know at one time, I think the 1.5, 0.6.
I was gonna say the pavilion itself, I mean, we're definitely,
I know that went over with.
yeah,
early
I mean,
estimates.
I don't have an exact dollar figure, but the pavilion, once we approved it, was over anything within the account, obviously.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think it was still, we're good money wise in terms of being able to cover it with the way Marcy went through everything. We haven't had any change orders as of yet. So hopefully everything is staying on target. We're trying our best. Dean and I are trying our best to make sure that happens, and we'll see. So yeah, no, in terms of an actual dollar amount, I don't know to tell you. But when the pavilion's paid, it's going to be everything we've went over in the past in terms of being able to use those revenue sources to pay for the remainder of the pavilion.
okay. Stacy, when the pavilion is done,
Yep.
we might bring the cart ahead of the horse here, but
Yeah.
is there a plan of how to approach the management of the pavilion as far as reservations, lane, that type of stuff?
Yes and no. As far as the reservations, it's just being done through us. It's gonna be done no different than a meeting room reservation or an activity room reservation. So that's how we're gonna do. No, well, we could open it up online, but no, in person, I was gonna say through my self-tire. To do the actual, our system that we utilize for it is gonna guarantee us not to have double bookings, not to have whatever. So I think it's the easiest way, most natural way to go over reservations. Dean and I have had a few conversations about maintenance there, like how we keep it clean, who goes in afterwards. That's what still needs to be determined. We've had a couple of conversations in park meetings, but we haven't really had like a final, this is for sure how we're going to deal with it. Correct. But it's not something we're not thinking about. Like, we're very well aware we need to come up with a plan of action. So, yep.
Anything else for Stacy? Any questions about all her information? Then we'll move on to police.
Yeah, nothing real new to pass on other than what we talked about at the work session, other than I did submit that GTSB grant application. I'm hoping to get awarded 7,500 for general enforcement and 1,500 for impairment. That's overtime monies for a total of 9,000. That's what I submitted. Well, hopefully, like I said, it's hard to get this grant now. They made it a little tighter. So last year, I think I submitted 9,000, same thing, and I got back 6,000. So I'm hoping that happens again. Other than that, got you guys the radar speed sign averages, and I'm good with them. I mean, they've been pretty good. The averages are pretty good. I was, concerned with Uliana. Had some complaints, of Uliana area that, heavy speeding and stuff. But this sign is showing, we're doing enforcement over there too. But I mean, the sign is showing, it's decent over there.
Is it actually a speed radar sign, or is it just
Random numbers.
I just found that hard to believe that number
Yeah.
is the average.
So
Average mile per hour.
That's what we're getting as average. Now, are there ones going faster? Yes, absolutely. But this is the average that we're gonna. So
I think, Mike, you said even, I can't remember, one of the former council members was saying that about his street, that God, people just be speeding. But then you drove past his house doing 5 over, doing the speed limit, 5 under.
yes,
Is that,
And the person really struggled with what was what.
yes,
It's everything seemed over, right?
correct. And I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. What John's talking about. Somebody was interested in. I did some kind of like a study with them on Leslie Drive. And Leslie Drive, how narrow streets are, Brandon and Leslie are narrow. I said, well, it's going to appear that they're going faster on these narrow streets because the streets are narrower. I mean, that's what happens with it. So I did a study with them. The first test I did on this, I think, was right at 25 or 23 miles per hour. The second one was like 26, 27 miles per hour. And the third one, I did it at like 29 or 30 miles per hour, something along the lines of that. The first one, he thought I was doing the speed limit or just above. Second one thought I was going 35. And the last one, he said I was flying. So, I mean, and I said, no, I mean, we were raw, in those small streets at 25 miles per hour. It seems like they're going fast. Also, the other thing, it depends on how fast somebody's revving their engine up to go past. That makes a big difference too. Like when I went around the corner, I got on the gas. I didn't go past 25 miles per hour, but I revved on the gas to get up to that speed rather quickly. And it appeared to be going faster than the average or faster than the speed limit. So, yeah, I mean, just shows, and, I'm not saying people are not speeding, right? Because you're going to have that. And every community has it. And we do the best we can with what we got. But, those numbers on those machines, it's a tool. Those machines are tools. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I mean, it's showing that they're doing the job, and it seems like everything's working.
Yep. Any other questions for it? No more snide comments from me. Is that what you're going to say? Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say anything.
Yeah. John said I can't say any more snide comments.
Wait, yeah,
I can't.
No, I can't.
I can't vote. That's what I can't do. All right. Thanks, Chief. Dean, you're up. Public Works.
Sure. Anything on any items on the report?
Yeah, I had something about the 23 miles an hour over. Yeah.
Turn back over to Mike.
Tell you though, when you're
Keep
behind,
on asking a question, so we can see the answer he wants to hear.
when you're behind somebody doing 20, it feels like they're doing 10.
Yeah, it does.
Next to the school site. Yeah.
You want to run over the car, not the person.
The only thing I wanted to add, or go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, I know you had the salt on there. Do we have like an excess then of that, or how does that work?
Right now, we do have an excess abundance. Yeah, we're probably, I would say our bin is still probably a little over a third full.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. So, I mean, it's good in a way, but it's not good because when it comes to budget time, we still have to prepare for the next year. So we're preparing in advance. So if we're not using that salt, we're paying storage on it. And the problem is the salt that's in our bin, that's been there for 2 years now, that gets pretty hard. It's really hard. So, but yeah, there's pros and cons.
Good and bad.
Pros and cons, yeah. Yep. Money savings, but on the same token, for budgeting and trying to prepare for the next year, not knowing what the winters are gonna be like, we have to put a certain amount of salt on reserve. So taking into consideration what we got for bin space, and I try to usually go over about 50%. Just kind of preparing ourselves rather than running short on a year, on a bad year where we wouldn't have it. So, yeah.
All right.
Other than that, I kind of expressed myself a little bit on the yard waste site up there, up on Pat Simon Drive. I did go up there and check today, and it is getting abused. And I do truly believe that it is probably outsiders, and not only with the abuse of the trees that are getting dumped there and the leaves that are getting dumped there, but it's the amount of leaves that are bagged up that are getting dumped on the tree side and such. I mean, one thing to keep in mind, if we do see that that it is getting illegally used up there. I mean, not only that, but all that stuff goes through the grindings, and we get charged extra for that when they grind that material that don't need to be ground. So, I mean, if anybody sees anybody that's from out of town, please bring it to somebody's attention. So, yeah.
And Dean, your out of town comment, those are residential probably versus commercial, or do we have commercial?
I would assume it's hard to tell because you can definitely tell that it's being dumped by a trailer, a dump trailer or something of such, the loads sizes.
Okay.
It's difficult to your question, but
Yeah.
difficult to monitor and,
Yeah, we went back and forth on that and tried to.
we talked about this every year
It's
for the
just-
last.
Yeah, how much labor intense we want it to be, how much money we want to get, stuck in it. And
But one year you had just a snow fence across there that didn't.
No, they dropped it off in front of it.
Yeah, we've never ever fenced it. We might have fenced an area that was an old site that was temporarily, to get people detoured temporarily to a new site to dump.
I just thought,
While some construction was underway or something.
I just remember there being an orange snow fence way back.
Yeah, I think you're referring to the year that we moved the site temporarily due to some construction up at the wastewater plant, for the wastewater plant in the old lagoon site.
Possibly.
Yep. That was the only year we've ever put in snow fence up.
Anything else for Dean?
Just one question. I see the lift station on Redbird's having problems again. Are we communicating with the homes that feed into that?
We do every time we see a repetitive problem, Brian. Nobody claims to be the culprit.
Right. Is it just a handful of homes, or are there multiple streets and things that are feeding down to there?
There's only 3 homes that feed it.
Okay.
I mean, once the Kelly Oak pavilion is up, that will also be dumping into that.
I'm sure nobody will put anything inappropriate in the toilets in the pavilion.
Probably be on board with what you're saying, 100%.
Have we done any kind of teaching in our newsletter about what's appropriate to put it?
We have.
I thought we have.
It's been posted in the newsletter and such.
Yeah. Couple of times.
Yeah.
I think we've done that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else then for Dean?
Not only crazy, but frustrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Dean. Did we get Ben on or no?
Yep, Ben's on.
Ben?
Yeah, we got it to work.
There you go. We'll go ahead and get your engineering report.
Sounds good. What does Steve normally do? Does he typically go into deep detail on all these things, or kind of touch on the high points?
Just high level, it's not.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We've got it here to read, so.
Perfect. So yeah, the first item, the water system improvements, the intended use plan documents, that's all submitted into DNR. So that funding process has started there. We're going to keep working on the design. A lot of the things are done. Some little tweaks that I've been in touch with Dean on, changes based on the DOT. Not problem, but the DOT changes that could be coming down the road that might affect that intersection at some point. There's a lot of caveats, but we're considering things on that. I think if everything goes well, might be able to go out for bid this fall and winter and do a spring of next year construction, which is a year delayed from what we've been communicating. I think it was supposed to be this spring, but I think that's our plan now. And if the bidding climate is really favorable earlier, we can go a little bit earlier than that. But I would think that for the better prices, we'd want to wait until over the winter.
Yeah, and Ben, I think at one point
Yes.
recently there was a brief discussion about whether we needed to relocate it in a different place. Have we put that discussion to bed, right? The water tower will be in the planned location south of the highway.
I think so. I think that's the best location. It's a good elevation relative to some other options that are available.
Yeah.
I think the question is what to do about the shop, and that's what Dean and I are trying to work on. We still want to have something down on the south side of the road to give some kind of storage and access and just shop space as that area grows, without overcommitting in case Cox Springs gets closed before the interchange at Thunder Hills gets done.
Yeah. Okay, and just for the benefit of the other council members, when we met with the DOT the last time, they did answer the question why an overpass or an interchange at Thunder Hills versus Cox Springs, because you remember the question was raised about we already have pavement south of the highway on Cox Springs, and that's where our industrial area is. Their answer was the distance between the interchanges is too small for Peosta Street. So it's going to be at Thunder Hills if and when we get there.
Yes.
Thanks, Brian.
If there's no other questions on the water, we can move on to the DOT.
Yep.
So we've since the last meeting that we had in Peosta, speaking with DOT, we've put together some exhibits for the U-Step funding. Like my little report says, talked with Russell. He's saying that at the district level, the DOT is not interested in any of the acceleration lane options or either of the acceleration options.
I had not shared that with council yet.
Okay.
So that's fine, but so yeah, they're not going to talk about the acceleration lane heading east off of Thunder Hills or having one west off of Cox Springs. They do not feel at this time it is going to assist in solving the problems or in betterment of the intersection.
I know you don't know the answer to this, but then why do they put an acceleration lane at Cox Springs? I know you don't know the answer.
Yeah. But he did, Russell did say that, the U-Step would still be available at any time. If we get this done, the deceleration lane, the right turn off, we get that done this year. If we decide in the future we want to look at it again, we could do another U-Step project and look at doing that at that time. So it's not completely gone. It's just there wasn't, I don't think, enough of an advantage to tie it into the project.
We also kind of discussed that with the limitations on how much money we can get for the U-Step, it'd be better to do separate potentially projects anyway, because we'll be able to get more funding if we do one and then maybe a year later look at another one if it doesn't help.
Something else I found interesting in that study that the DOT provided, that traffic study, was Cox Springs. I think everybody views Cox Springs as the majority of the traffic turning left, heading toward Dubuque. But what they found in that study, there was an average amount of people turning right as there was turning left from Cox Springs on the Highway 20. I thought that was pretty interesting. Would have never imagined it. I do witness quite a few times a lot of people going to the right, but still it seems like there's, twice as much going toward Dubuque to the left. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that study. I don't know if anybody took the time to read all that thing or not. That was Some good
I think
finds.
I want to revisit the traffic volumes heading east from Thunder Hills, and let's have that discussion with the DOT the next time we have our check-in meeting. Because I see that intersection clogging up a lot with people trying to be in the middle of the intersection to turn left to go to Dubuque. So I don't know if that's a done issue and I do realize that was on the county side of the highway, so that was a different
Right.
funding program. So I'd like to better understand their rationale for that not being helpful. We can look at that data.
Yeah, and I guess Russ, I'm not sure if Russell specifically mentioned that to you. I thought that Russell was just talking about the two westbound acceleration lanes. I'm not sure if he just dismissed the county project.
Now that you say that, Ben, I can't say for sure that I guess when he said the acceleration
Right.
lane, I could have just extrapolated out and said both, but you could be.
Yeah, I'll follow up with him because I was thinking that would still be in play because in my mind I was just thinking that we got the city projects versus the county project.
Yeah, and I think
really,
the county engineer was planning on taking that to the Board of Supervisors in late March for discussion on the acceleration lane off of Thunder Hills toward Dubuque. So
Right.
Hopefully that's still in play.
Yeah, I assume so. I'm going to follow up with him sometime later this week.
Great.
When we last met with the DOT, they talked about doing some work on the medians. Research, I think it was resurfacing the medians, is that right?
Yes.
So are we gonna try to make these projects happen at the same time so we don't,
I thought there was some discussion.
or is it gonna be, they're gonna be separate times? Or don't we know yet?
I don't know that for sure. I'll make a note. Talk to Russell about that.
Coordinated so it's all tore up at once.
When they did it, the last time they did it all at once.
Yeah.
I know that he expressed that they wouldn't be putting in any like of the line markings or signage on our acceleration lane on Cox Springs until they were their project. But yeah, I don't think that they talked about coordinating like their timeline. I don't know what their timeline is.
That's right.
I'll find out.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, you bet. So all that being said, I think we've got the exhibits. I can share my screen if you want to take a look at them. They're pretty high level, just showing what the offset deceleration would kind of look like. I can share if you'd like. Otherwise, I will plan to this week submit that U-step and keep that process moving.
Great.
Then just send that to me or to Marcy, would you?
Absolutely.
Then we can send it out to rest of council.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah, but one question, when you're in your illustrations there, is there any need for us to acquire any land?
I don't think so.
That was an open question. That's right.
Let's see, flipping through it. Yeah, there was some thought that it would be a little bit tight on if we're doing the extended acceleration lane, and it's a little tight, but it looks like everything would fit, at least on the preliminary design that we did.
Awesome.
And then on the deceleration lane, there's plenty of space.
Perfect.
Yeah, no issues on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And I guess I'm sorry. One last item on that would be I will plan on the U-step application. I'm just going to focus on the offset deceleration. Just in light of what Russell was saying, I think that we just include that as the project request if council is good with that.
Yes, that sounds good.
Great. Next item is the GIS mapping. We've got Marcy, you, and Dean should be approved users or should have access to that site. I don't know if you got emails with. Okay,
I got
great.
an email. I just haven't had a chance to log in. Did you get an email, Dean?
I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
Okay, yeah, I definitely got an introductory email to sign up, and we'll want to get Kathy on that as well.
Okay, great. I'll make a note. I'll invite Kathy as well. Yeah, and if anybody else.
You plan on coming out, Ben, to give us an introduction to it?
Sure, I'll learn alongside you.
I believe that Steve had said that he could give us a hand, or that there was somebody that had helped develop it that could give us a little bit of training on it. So we might
Yeah,
want to
probably.
circle back with Steve on that. I don't know who it was exactly.
Yeah, and the correspondence we got from Diamond Maps, they say that they lean on the 30-day trial period as the time for the users to play around with it and try and figure things out and ask questions. And they say that they should be available to help. But if anybody can provide some just kind of direct training, I'll ask Steve about that.
Hey, Ben, if you can send that to my email, that'd be great. Since my email is going to get passed on to the next person, then I'll just
Right.
make sure the password gets passed on too.
Yep. Can do. All right. We have the Iowa Street and the alley vacation. Thought that we had things. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to jump in here too.
Yes.
We're going to take no action on this tonight.
Yes.
I do want to sit down with you, maybe have a conversation with you and Doug to get these details ironed out before we bring it up here at council.
Great. That sounds perfect to me. I think that's a great idea. And then lastly, Cap Court Lift Station. We've got that into DNR.
And your properties over by the police station. So that's what that is. All right. Any
Sorry,
questions?
Okay.
Any questions?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Am I good to move on to the lift station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We've got that in DNR. It's been in DNR for, I think, 3 months now. But I did get an email from our reviewer, and he said that he's almost done. So, depending on what your intentions are, if you'd like us to get the bidding documents put together, we can put together the schedule for what we think that's going to be, assuming we get the construction permit here soon.
Yeah, I think definitely go ahead and move forward with that.
Sounds good. Okay. Are there any questions on any of these items? Anything else that I did not bring up?
Nope, I think we're good. Thanks,
Sounds good.
man.
You bet. If anybody thinks of anything, feel free, send me an email, give me a call. Always happy to help.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks.
Next up was the planning and zoning recommendation on vacating those properties, so we'll not take any action there. The report is that they have had discussions with our search committee, our search people, and have generated some leads for our administrator. The deadline is Friday for applying, so I don't know if there'll be a flurry of activity at the end of this process here. But once we get all of that information in, we'll set up a time to meet with Gary, go over the list and his recommendations. I'd like to do that next week sometime. We don't have another meeting, but I assume that'll have to be a closed session to have it open so all council can be there. Is that, can you look into that for me, Dan?
Yeah.
Cause I'd like to have a meeting with Gary that we can just have our questions or whatever recommendations before we have more of a public.
You'll have to touch base with Doug on that because they've changed those rules a little bit. I'm not 100% up to speed on that.
Okay. Yeah, so I had a conversation with Gary just today, so I think there's some good candidates in there, so I think we're.
You'll get some more. Everybody waits till the last.
Yeah,
minute.
everybody waits till the last minute, so that's for sure, so.
Prior to that discussion, can you send us the resumes from them all? So
But yeah, he'll wait till the end of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
process, so he'll get the rest of
Send
it.
them along.
Yep, to me.
Okay.
I said, just give them to me and I can get them out to you guys, so. Appreciate it. All right.
And I can be involved as little as much as you want me to be with that. So
I think we would welcome your participation in that, as your
Great.
knowledge.
I probably know some of the people.
Yeah.
Your name has come up.
Reason to sit in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Are you thinking you need to defend yourself?
I'm not saying, I said, lady, even come out.
Yeah, your name has come up a couple of times, so.
That just means because I'm old.
I get you. Me and you. All right, so next up we have, resolution setting the public hearing, which we're not doing, so no action on that. Alleyway Street. Survey out, survey. That's all that, so. Next one, resolution approving pay estimate number 2, for Kelly Oaks. Questions?
Dean, you've looked over both of these that are coming up and you agree with them?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So I will need a motion to approve 2026-18 resolution approving pay estimate number 2 submitted by Groner and Restoration for the Kelly Oaks Park Pavilion project.
Make a motion to approve 2026-18 resolution approving pay estimate number 2 submitted by Groen and Restoration for the Kelly Oaks Pavilion project.
I'll second.
Jeff, I.
Ben, I.
John, I,
Jim, I.
Brian, I.
Motion carries. Next up then is 2026-19 resolution approving pay estimate number 3 submitted by Groen and Restoration for Kelly Oaks Park Pavilion project. And Dean has already said he is good on it as well.
I'll make a motion to approve 2026-19 resolution approving pay estimate number 3 submitted by Groen and Restoration for Kelly Oaks Pavilion project.
second.
Jeff, I.
Ben, I.
John, I,
Jim, I.
Brian, I.
Carries. Next up, we have resolution 2026-20 Fire Board representative appointment to the Centralia Peosta Fire Board from the city of Peosta. The appointment is Ray Steffen, who has been in this role and has been discussed that the fire department and Ray are both good with him continuing in that capacity.
this is in the term of 5 years.
Yes. I talked to Mike Wurzer and they were fine with that. They didn't care. It was up to us.
I think it's good that it's in sync with the other boards and commissions. That makes sense.
I'll make a motion to approve 2026-20 resolution appointing representative to the Centralia Fire Peosta Board from the city of Peosta, Iowa, Ray Steffen.
I'll second. Jeff, I.
Ben, I.
John, I,
Jim, I.
Brian, I.
Motion carries. Next up, 2026-21 resolution amending and establishing fees, ACH and credit card fees are changing, and the permit fee is being established for the new ordinance on owning laying hens in the city.
And we'll just reassert for the record that the ACH and related fees are from the vendor. We're passing along. They are not the city adding to the cost.
Correct. And I know that we've had some, we've put it out there to the public.
Right.
We've had some pushback. Why don't you just get a different vendor? But the issue is it's not just the vendor that handles the ACH, it's the actual entire software system that we've been using for 20 years and they've gone to the cloud. We don't have an option other than switching completely, which can cost us tens of thousands of dollars. And I checked and some of those other companies charge the same.
The reality is that most cloud-based software as a service, they're going to all have a fee structure.
Correct. So
When you talk to anyone who's called in, do they then think, okay?
Shawnee's done talk to most of the folks. Today there was an email that went out. After she kind of explains that they understand a little bit better. I would say most of the negativity would be things that have come through email.
Of course. And I know we've had
Facebook.
it on Facebook, and with an explanation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got it out there. I assume we'll have it in the newsletter again in April.
Yeah, we certainly can. Yep.
Just repetitiveness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Shawnee usually, sets those things on Facebook to kind of go out
Yeah.
as reminders.
I know I've seen it several times, so.
And I saw that comment that people can still pay in person or directly to City
Right.
Hall. So that's an option.
Need a motion to approve this resolution? Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve 2026-21 resolution amending fees, the CHC's credit card fees, check permit.
I'll second.
Jeff, I.
Ben, I.
Tim, I.
Brian, I.
Motion carries. Next up, we've got quarterly goal review. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go through those. Some things we're doing really well on, and other things are more long-term, so.
I've taken a look at that. I see that you've done your utility rate review already. One of the things that we haven't done is the industrial plan. And it looks like Marcy tells me that comp plan needs to be updated too, so you could roll in that trail and sidewalk plan into, that makes sense to roll that in as the transportation section of the comp plan with both streets and sidewalks and trails and every way people get around.
Yeah, that'd be ideal. I had a note to myself, if we had initiated a process, or if we need to initiate a process to contract somebody for that comprehensive plan work.
I think Marcy has it in the budget, so
Yeah, and I believe there was some information out on the S drive I can look up again. I know that Annette had worked on it at one point or had gotten some additional information. I would guess we'd probably just go with the same company that
We use Callahan. Is he still doing it?
No, I think it was RG or something, RDG. But I mean, we can certainly, I don't know if we have to put in an RFP for that.
We use them again.
Probably.
that ECIA probably does it too.
I would probably start there. Talk with ECIA.
They'll at least get us point in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, if they don't do it, I'm sure they have. I believe Callahan has.
I'd be sure they would, that ECIA does it because they do it for a lot of,
Yeah.
the cogs do it for a lot of the smaller places everywhere, so they should.
So I feel pretty confident they would be able to do that, so.
Reach out and find out what the process is and cost and so on and so forth, and whether or not we have to RFP or anything.
Yeah, if we can select, or if we have to bid it out.
Right, yep.
I know we've got something in here about team building, and I don't think we've progressed on that at all. So I would like to see something, companies or management services type people who might be available for team building for city staff as well as leadership council.
I have an idea for you, so.
I do too.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we could talk about it.
I don't trust you two. Especially the way you're both getting. I wouldn't have trusted it if you'd have said it straight faced either, but.
We got a plan for you guys, so.
Anything else on here that anybody wanted to bring up? I know we've got, you've got your meeting.
Yep.
Already planned.
The 23rd, yep, and then we have the copy.
And then
not
we're gonna do
copied.
our whatever our evening is gonna be on the 20th of April.
Donnie named it, but she did name it something else, to put it in the newsletter, so, to get ready to put in the newsletter, so.
Perfect.
My only comment, Mr. Mayor, on the team building thing, and maybe this is what you meant, but when we hire a new city administrator, we would also want to do some of that then.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably the time to do it, but we'll get somebody lined up to schedule about that time. The people that are good at that need to be scheduled out a ways, so.
Agree. Onboarding a new team, critical.
I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. The only other thing I did notice, and this is usually a Brian, the Peosta Economic Development Corp, in the community leaders meeting section about the mayor and city council scheduling annual or semi-annual school board Peosta Economic Development Corp. We should probably change that to PDCA. Peosta Business Cooperative.
Business and Community Alliance.
There you go. There you go. All the way from Florida, ladies and gentlemen.
Got it.
I don't have any other questions or comments on that. I think we've got, I think the marching papers right now. I think the training will be, something we want to have kind of ready to go, pull the trigger on it in probably like a month, 2 months
Mhm.
max.
Yeah, you bet. We'll collaborate.
Okay, sounds good. Move on from that, and I will now open it up for citizen comment for anything not on the agenda. He just likes to come and see us.
Well, that's all right. For me, so I thought I'd give him the courtesy of. You need,
I just need your number, and then add number after your address.
8141, you know the last name?
Albridge, Eric Osterman.
Yes. Usually I talk to you, but I wrote down what I want to say because I want to choose my word carefully.
All right.
I'm using more verbiage to the best of my ability. I don't want anybody to be offended in any way by what I say, nor do I want to come off in any sort of accusation way. I just want to bring up two things as a citizen's concern. I feel that the two committees, planning and zoning, and the zoning board of adjustment appointed by the city council needs to be reviewed in two areas. The first being the appointment process for both. The second being a review of adherence to the state guidelines on the member structure of the zoning board of adjustment. Firstly, recently a position became vacant that appears filled without any notice of the vacancy nor requests for solicitation from citizens on the 3 city bulletin boards, city website, or city newsletter. At one time in the past, there were notices put out for citizens to submit letters of interest indicating position and brief summaries of skills or experiences that might bring value to them being appointed. I was waiting for that notice. I was disappointed that the city council did not reach out to the public and chose someone when others have expressed interest in the past and submitted names for vacancies on these committees to the city administration. It would serve the citizens if the city documented its policies and procedures in its website for citizens to read and understand how they can be appointed to these committees and for the city administration to maintain some sort of interest list. There is no requirement by the state to appoint people in a manner that the city is not following. The city council, though, could be more open and transparent in selecting and staffing these committees. There's a difference between following the idea we did all we were required to do against we have an open, fair, and transparent method of appointing citizens. Appointing someone to a public position serving the community without public notice can appear to be based on the appointment of personal friends, people that members of the city council do business with or vice versa, neighbors, members of the same church, clubs or leagues, and other multiple sorts of personal connections because it creates the appearance of cronyism. I feel that the recent appointment was not an open and transparent process, and I was honestly surprised that the city council felt it was proper to do that the way it did. I asked questions of the city and I received a list of term expirations that appeared to indicate as terms have expired, there has been no reasonable attempt to solicit interest from the public, and that often the same person continues to be reappointed, which in itself to some people might appear not to be the best practice. The same small group on a committee for 5, then 10, then 15 or more years is a feasible possibility. With that practice, there is no look into new people with new ideas. It would be of benefit to consider comparing automatic reappointment against new appointments at some time, perhaps after serving 2 terms, but auto reappointments as they occur can have flaws. There have been 10 appointments or reappointments in total to both committees in the past 6 years with very little notice to the citizens that I can recall. This could have the appearance of a closed circle having been created and maintained, which does not appear to be a very open and fair process. There was a time when notice was given in the newsletters and the city reached out to people. My concern is that the system ended and transparency has become a bit more opaque. My second concern, I may not be 100% accurate on some things I'm about to bring forth. I asked for address from the city of those serving in public elected and appointed positions because I was interested in any trends or occurrences that might support my comments to the city council re-examining its practice in part one. Addresses were not provided, and though I find that odd for public office and appointments, I worked with Google and property records at the county, so something may be a little off on what I'm going to say. On the zoning board of adjustment, of the 5 people, there are 2 appearing to have a primary resident outside the city limits. I understand the appointments are to confirm with the requirement of cities using extraterritorial zoning that there be members within a 2-mile range of the city limits, as the cities just could cast impact on their residences. It would be good for the city to confirm the distance of those outside residents and have such confirmation document in case the citizens question the calculation of a 2-mile radius versus a residence that may be further out. If I feel it appears one may be further out than the 2 miles, I understand it is from the outermost city line in a straight line manner, so perhaps the city engineer can recalculate and confirm. More importantly, though, the state appears to have a requirement that cities utilizing extraterritorial zoning must be increased by 2 members that are residents to offset the 1 or 2 members outside city limits, but within the 2-mile range. Of the 5 with those 2, they have a 40% representation at this time. The state lists member numbers of boards as 5, 7, and 9 as starting board number. Therefore, it appears the city may have erred in not increasing the board to 7 members with the addition of 2 members outside the city limits. 3 members is not an option by the state for member count, so the city must have always been at 5 to start with. I would like to suggest that the city confer with its lawyer on retainer to review the accuracy of my comment to review this possible REITs issue. In research, I spoke with Ed Rabner, Director of Planning and Development in Dubuque County, as I was referred to him by Wayne Kinnecker, because I wanted to ensure I was a bit more on solid ground before I brought up the member count, but it actually had to do with reading the legislator and representation from the Board of Examiners or whatever Wayne's on. I had a question about it, and then it led into that. So my understanding on the interpretation of the board size, according to Ed down in Dubuque, I don't know if you know the name, he said it appears accurate, and so I'm bringing it to the council as it's concerned.
Do you, and I know you've been communicating with Marcy about this topic. Is all of that contained in what you 2 have already talked about, what you just brought
Not
forth?
the end piece. Do you have an idea of what that state code is by off the top or reference? We can find out. I just didn't know if you.
I have notes, but I didn't want to come in speaking like a legal expert. I wanted to come in saying these are things I think you should work
Jump in that.
Try to
I appreciate that.
And then I didn't want you to think I went to like Ed. I went to Ed because there was something there about, what's the 3-member board called? Board of Examiners or something?
Our Board of Adjustments?
No,
Oh, down.
there's a county, it's got Harley on it. It's got Wayne and another woman.
Well, there's a Board of Supervisors.
Board of Supervisors. There's something in that that says it may have a representative from the Board of Supervisors. It was just reading and learning about
Sure.
how these committees work in Iowa and everything. And then, as you read, things popped up and it spoke about having 2 people outside the 2-mile limit. But then it also said, if you do that, you have to increase the size.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I wish I kept better notes for you. I was just bringing up the concern and letting you guys work it.
Yeah.
But we
with
can talk
your
to you up
attorney.
to the point of I didn't feel comfortable providing.
I didn't argue with you about it. I wanted to explain if I'm wrong because,
I don't try to use Beacon.
well, it doesn't go by name.
No,
So,
but you can look up the address, but
yeah, you'd be surprised.
I'm not aware of that rule. I know that I just went back and we referenced the ordinances
Yes.
for both boards, and they both indicate how many members, how many can live or in or out, but I'm not familiar with that last
Well,
piece.
it's like you go down the rabbit hole and
Like,
sometimes.
yeah, I just wonder if it was a code that was put into place
And
after
I actually just this morning stumbled upon adding.
Is this your only copy of those notes that you just read?
Well, this is more my speech than notes.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to be careful with how I.
You got it, Dan?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
I just want to have them a reference to go as they kind of dive into the rabbit hole with you.
Like everything with the internet, it's hard to get to where you feel you're in the exact best site. And then if you read legislative notes, it's written in common language, but the whole wording could be.
We can check, it should be in Iowa code, so if we can't find it, we can definitely refer to our attorney. It could have been something that was put into place after we wrote ours. I do know that at one time there was even like a gender
It
situation.
was, I brought that up with you at one time
And that
and you
was-
said it
yes.
was gone.
That's gone,
It was
so.
more a big learning curve, but when I was surprised that 40% of the people on the board don't actually live within the city limits, and it just kind of.
I didn't know that was, that there was a.
And then there was.
Place those
I did.
citizens.
Well, they said if you are
I understand, yeah.
extra, and I'm not an expert in any of that. I just saw you had two, well, it was explained to me because of the 2 mile radius
Right.
that you
Yep.
can
I
have
knew that.
representation.
I didn't
And
know
if
the.
you do, though, to offset that ratio, the state, like I said, I'm not 100% accurate. I bring it up to you as a concern,
Yep.
so you
We're gonna
look
look
into it and say, Eric, you were kind of right, but you were wrong here, or Eric, you were right, you know?
Brian, do you have something?
No, I was just gonna say we should try to find out what the regulation really says. I mean,
Definitely gonna do
we can
that.
adjust our policy then if we're
Yep.
required to do so.
Yep.
If I don't know, it got confusing. I didn't write down the actual things. I just picked the pieces to highlight.
That's-
And we can come up with better ideas of how we
can find it.
Or we have seats that are expiring,
Yeah,
how to handle
absolutely.
those going forward too.
At one time
That's a
they
great idea.
did, it just seems to have faded away.
Yeah, we can have more discussion on it. We'll look into the code, kind of find out what those laws are, and then we can always bring it back for discussion at a work session or something if we need to change anything.
It's okay, I'm just bringing up my opportunity to say things.
That's what we're here for.
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
If I have any questions, I know where to find you.
Reach out to me in an email, I'll respond to you.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jeff,
Ben, I.
John,
Jim, I.
Ryan, I.
motion carries. We're adjourned.
Bye, Brian.
Peace. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Brian.
thanks.
Everybody knows we're under